This car I bought, I guess it would be, because I had it before Christmas time, so July. Got the car in July, so it's been over a year. Because right now it's December, it's coming up on Christmas. So basically, I got the car, all the metal work on it, then the motor and transmission mock-up, and the rear end mock-up, and floor link, and coilovers, and four-wheel disc brake, and just everything that I've done and worked really hard for. You know, I'm excited because I'm finishing up the last touches, you know, and I got lots of fun things I'm looking forward to doing in this car next year. So it's basically wintertime, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping working on it. I don't like the way the clutch pedal's sitting. I don't like the throw of it. I'm gonna move that around. Like I said, I still gotta do the whole interior, the headliner. I gotta make these clips tonight for the headliner so I can put them in probably tomorrow night. And there's just the wheels and tires. These are borrowed wheels and tires from my dad. And I'd like to get the set of aero wheels on it like I had on my other car. And there's just things here and there that need to be done. So it's coming full circle, right back to where it started. It all started in this same house garage with the original straight 8 in it. And like I said, I broke it free, got it running, and I'll plug a portion in of the video of me getting it running. And it was just a blast, man. Not only making it run, but you know, it's neat seeing it come back to life. And that's one of my favorite parts about building cars, is watching them come back to life and driving them for the first time and not knowing when the last time it was on the road was. In this case, I know it was sometime in 74 or 75 this thing took its last drive. But it's just really neat to me, and I'm kind of the nostalgia guy about wondering where a car came from and how it got to me. You know, I'm always curious about that. And this car is probably, as far as I know, I'm probably about the second owner or third owner of it. Because I do believe I'm the third owner. The guy that got this car bought it off the original owner, I do believe. So it's really neat, and I'm happy I have it. I'm happy I brought it back to life. And I think if this car could talk, it would be happy with what I did to it and what I put in it, because it sure does run pretty good. So I'm gonna get down to the starting this guy tonight. So basically what I gotta make is, I'll kind of try to make it as quick as possible here, but basically these are the factory clips that it came with. So they kind of slid up in there like that, and that screws onto the car there. So basically, I'm an idiot, and I threw all them away because I didn't think I was going to run a headliner, because I figured it'd be too much and I wouldn't want to buy it. And then I did some research about a month ago, figured out the headliner is about 150 bucks for this car. So I had to buy one. So now, because I know I had all my bows, I know they're all still in good shape, but now I'm running into an issue where I need these clips. And I looked up these clips to buy some, since I threw all my old ones away besides this one here. And brand new clips are $10 a piece, and I need 16 clips. So needless to say, I'm not going to be buying any clips. I'm going to be making them. So just made myself some more work, but that's usual. But basically my idea was, I went up to Lowe's and I found some of these roll pins. And I kind of figured it'd be hard to make that shape in sheet metal without having the die that they actually did this in. So I was coming up with different ideas, using like dowel rod and drilling a hole in it or doing something. And then I just kind of thought this would more than likely work. And I'm gonna have to spread it open a little bit, probably with a flathead screwdriver or something. But it wants to start and go in there. So I got a strong feeling like just open it up a little bit will take care of it. And I think I can probably just cut a square piece of metal out, which I got here, some scrap. Looks to be about the right length. They don't have to be perfect because I can adjust it with this. But I'm just gonna cut slivers of them. Then this is gonna get just welded on at the end. And I just drill one hole and that'll be it for it. So I need to make 16 of these. So that's no fun. But yeah, I think I got the right stuff to do it, and I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. So now I got the heater going since it's back to wintertime again. But at least I'm not out in the barn. You know, the barn was a little bit cold, really cold. And welding and cutting kept my mind busy, but my feet were freezing. So I'm happy to be in the house garage that's insulated with this nice heater going. And yeah, I'm tickled pink. But anyways, so I'll get the camera set up and we're gonna start cutting some stuff, and yeah, we'll make some clips. I'll kind of give you a little bit of the rundown of, you know, how many headliners I've done, and yeah, how many I've done by myself? 0. How many I'm about to do? 1. So that's about all you need to know. But basically, I mean, they're kind of, you can't really mess them up. Now in my case, when you remove all the bows out of the car and then don't mark which bow went where, and you throw away all the clips and have to make new clips, and you thought you needed 16, but they actually just hook on one side then stick in the other, so you only needed 8, and then you actually had one, so you only needed 7, but you made 16. So anyway, so I got a bunch of headliner clips for a car. Maybe I'll probably lose them before I get there, but anyway, so what you saw me do was, first thing I did was get the bows in, and I kind of started with the narrowest one, the widest one, or the tallest one, and that's pretty much the way that the car's kind of shaped. It's narrow up front, gets wider as it goes back, and the bows get taller as they get in the back to go around the back windshield, and the two in the very back are close together. So it made it easy to figure out which direction the headliner went, and it also made it easy to figure out which bow went where. So that really wasn't too big of a deal. So basically, now that I got all the bows, and I know where they go. You saw me put them inside the headliner, so that's ready to go. I don't really know. It seems like the white stuff's a little bit too long for the bows, so I'll probably have to cut some of that with a razor blade once I kind of get it set in here. And yeah, so we're moving right along with it, and I think it's going to be just fine. So I removed the back panel because the headliner actually comes down, and hopefully it'll have enough to glue kind of right there and hide that little gap I was talking about earlier, and we'll go from there. But I think right now it's actually ready for me to try to fight the headliner to kind of get it in here, and yeah, it's ready for me to start fighting it. So I kind of wanted to get at least some of it in with the bows in, and kind of start getting it kind of stretched out, maybe sit it out here, because I'd like to be able to get the headliner kind of halfway decent in, and then have the heater put back in the door jamb there to try to heat it up a little bit, because it's like 17 degrees out here, and headliners like to be about 90, but that stuff is super stretchy also, so that kind of helps. But I'd like to get the glue in the house and start getting it back up to decent temperature, and yeah. So anyways, this is about what it looks like. I rolled this Silas mat or Kills mat, whatever you want to call it. It really quieted up everything. And yeah, also probably tacked on an extra 150 pounds inside the car on top of whatever the interior panels are and everything. So I probably added, by the time I'm done, probably 300 pounds, 350 pounds of stuff. So I'm gonna have to adjust my shocks in the back, I'd say, maybe even in the front, because I can already tell it's kind of lowering down a little bit. So yeah, that's a lot to say in a little bit of time, but I think I'm ready to get the camera set up and kind of start this guy. And if you watch, I might just leave it in kind of real time, maybe try to get an idea. But basically the third bow back hooks in here, and then you kind of got to tap it around and beat it. So, and I'm gonna have to poke some holes and do some different things, but basically that first bow kind of starts it, and then that'll make it be able to pull it tight forward, and so you can get it tacked to that strip up there, which I still got to remove the front windshield garnish, I forgot. But that makes it so you can pull it tight, get it glued up here to this top panel, and then once you get the glue and everything in, then you pretty much move your way to the back side and start working it that way, getting it back until you can glue it on that back edge. And then basically your window garnish goes on, you put the screws in it, tighten it up, that holds it, and then you run a razor blade around your window and cut it out, and that makes a perfect edge. And you got to do it for basically the back two side windows, and then the back glass. That's the ones you got to do like that, and also the front at the top side. So it'll hang down low, and it'll be able to get cut, kind of with a razor blade. So it's really not that bad, but it's just time consuming, and it's been a minute since I did one, probably about 5 years, so I'm sure I'll mess it up. But anyways, I'll get the camera set up, and I would like to at least get the third bow in and get it kind of tight a little bit, and just kind of get all the bows in place and kind of sitting there, so I can just get an idea of how it's going to look and how everything's going to work out, because I'd like to, I mean, I think it'll work out just fine, but it's just going to take me a minute. So stay tuned, and I will start getting this guy in. The next day, same outfit, and we're back to work on the Pontiac. Now, the headliner's been in there, and I was hoping it'd kind of ease up on the crease lines, and it did a little bit, but the headliner's so stretchy, I don't think it'll be an issue. But the only thing that I foresee kind of being an issue is that there's no staple groove around the back window. So basically I have to stretch the headliner back to the back window, and I gotta fix it somehow. So I'm gonna try this glue, and it's freaking whatever, 20 degrees outside right now. So I'm trying to warm up some of the car with the heater, and I'm just gonna see how it works and see if that glue will start getting tacky and actually set up. So I'm gonna put a little bit back there, pull it down, and see if it'll start holding. If it starts holding, that'd be great. And then once that starts to hold, I'll be able to get the edges and start pulling the edges down. Like I said, I'll have to come over and slit this little backing that the bows went in. I know I'll have to do that to get the wrinkles out of it from like driver to passenger side, left to right. I don't think that'll be that big of a deal, but it's just going to be a little bit time consuming. Kind of my goal is tonight, if I can get the back section done, great. And if I can't, I will. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start messing with this glue, and I'm going to see what happens. So, wish me luck. So now that I got the headliner knocked out, it kind of fought me a little bit in the front, and I went ahead and kind of glued it on the passenger side, and I was just trying to work it back to the driver's side, and I just knew that it was going to wrinkle. So I got the driver's side kind of pulled tight where there was a bunch of excess in the middle, and I really worked it back and forth. I had to go pretty far up back over to the passenger side, almost to the corner, but eventually I was able to work everything out, all the wrinkles out. So I'm very happy with the way the headliner turned out. And if you see that corner over there, basically the only thing I need to do is figure out a way to grab a hold of the material and stuff it back up inside the like the little strip, the spike strip, whatever you want to call it. But overall, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Everything worked out great on the front. All my seams look good, and if you see kind of the ripples and kind of where the seams are, that's just the way that it's stitched. How far they ran in with the sewing machine creates them. So that's just the imperfection in the sewing machine. I pulled it as tight as I could, and I didn't want to pull too tight, because once you start pulling too tight, you can actually start separating the actual sewing, and you can start seeing the white for the backing of the foam. So I pulled it as tight as I could, and it doesn't look too bad. My windlace doesn't look very good, but I've kind of learned my lesson on windlace that more than likely you should probably glue it and stitch it, because then it would alleviate a lot of them wrinkles that you see in it. But overall, I'm happy with it. That's where I'm calling the video. If you guys watched it all the way through, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Andrew's Garage.